Welcome back to the Kick and Post YouTube channel. It's your host, Amal Thompson and Chris Perry, and we're back
Back.
for Wild Card Weekend in the NFL playoffs. How are you doing today, Chris?
Good. Glad you're back.
Glad to be
And
back.
not
Glad to
glad
be
that
back.
my team isn't back, your team isn't back, but that doesn't matter.
I had to wear the. We got to get Lawrence in the playoffs somehow, so I had to rock the jersey. We got a lot to be thankful for, but that's for another video.
Yeah, of course, man. Hey, new seasons will be here soon. Right now, we got the wild card weekend. How you feeling about it?
I think it's going some pretty good matchups in there, man. The betting odds are a little bit hefty in some of these matchups,
Okay.
a la Ravens, Pittsburgh, or Broncos, Bills. But I think the games are going to be a lot closer than Vegas sees it being. Which one do you want to really start off with?
I mean, whichever one you want to start with, you have to leave this one for me.
All right, so Saturday, I know we got Ravens, Steelers, and I think we also got Houston Chargers on Saturday. So let's
Okay.
go Ravens, Steelers to start off. I don't have it being a rout. These teams know each other very well. This would be the third time they played this year. I do believe the Ravens figured out a little bit more the last time they played the Steelers. Lamar had a pretty good day. I think he shook a little bit of those demons that he's had against that defense. TJ Watt's coming in a little bit banged up. We'll see how he's able to perform. That D-line still performs very well without him, but the amount of pressure they're able to generate with him on the field, kind of unmatched. The big talking point in all of this is the first time these teams played, Russ had a great day. Pickens had a great day. They had their way against the Ravens defense, stayed in the matchup, won the game. The second time these teams played is in the middle of a 4-game losing streak now,
Okay.
and the Russ-led offense has not looked great. And I don't think it's just on Russ. Obviously, running the ball has been inconsistent for him. Najee hasn't looked amazing. I feel like a little bit higher utilization of Jalen Warren would serve this team good. And teams have figured out it's George Pickens. So they're taking away George Pickens. And if you take away George Pickens, Van Jefferson hasn't really stepped up. Their midseason acquisition of Mike Williams hasn't stepped up. Fryermuth, their best option, starting to see a lot more pass attempts go his way, but he's not really a dominating factor at the tight end position. Calvin Austin is a nice piece, but we can't really depend on him to be a wide receiver too. So they're really just taking away the piece that keeps the offense moving, and asking Russ to make some difficult passes in some tighter windows to keep the chains moving. It hasn't really worked out. That being said, I will be taking the Ravens to win this matchup.
That's fair.
I do like Lamar and that offense to keep moving, even with the injury to Zay Flowers in the last game. Rashad Bateman's been stepping up a lot lately. He's found his chemistry again with Mark Andrews. Isaiah Likely getting involved a little bit more with Zay Flowers on the field probably. I like them to win roughly by, I'd say about 10 points. I take the Ravens to cover the spread, which last time I checked was 9.5. So that's how I'm feeling. You got any takes on this one?
I mean, I feel like you hit it right on the nose. I feel like with the Steelers, may or may not be Russ's fault entirely, but they will need that next step from someone else on the field, whether it be Najee or the O-line or Pat. I mean, Pickens usually does his thing, but like you said, like who's going to be the next man up? Where you have the Ravens on the other side of the coin with an MVP candidate, where it seems like everyone's stepping up. Like Bateman's having a great year. Mark Andrews is turning it around from start to finish. So it's like, what do you do with that recipe? On top of that, the defense looks pretty solid per usual. I mean, same thing with the Steelers, but that can only go so far. And every year, this is where it typically shuts down for them because you do have to put points on the board. You do have to score in the playoffs. Defense wins championships, but points win games, So it's like you got to
That
see both
Ravens
sides.
defense has made huge turns from the middle of the season. They shifted some stuff around. Moved Marlon Humphrey a little bit out of cover. Got him kind of roaming the field. Put Kyle Hamilton all the way back at free safety so he could kind of roam the field. And that's done wonders for the defense in general. I think the big talking point, too, is when things break down and you have to depend on something, right? When it's playoff football and you need yards, who are you trusting more to get you 2 or 3 to keep a drive moving? Are we going to go Derrick Henry? Or are we going to go Najee? I feel like the answer is there, especially with how both running backs have been performing this year. So give me Ravens by 10.
Exactly. Don't overthink it. It's very simple, very short. Ravens. That's it. Have a good weekend. So
Have a good weekend. But next matchup Saturday.
That's gonna
Chargers heading into Houston.
Yeah. And
Yes,
I haven't been
yes.
paying like too much attention, but I've been hearing a couple people, I guess, in the media saying this is like a bye week for the Chargers, or like I guess it's a freebie.
Oof.
Is that true? I don't know. Like that's what I heard.
So here's my take on it. Year 2 CJ Stroud has not been year 1 CJ Stroud. It has been a bit of a sophomore slump. The offense has not looked the same. Mixon started off the year hot. Has not been very hot down the stretch. Obviously, they lost Tank Dell, a very viable wide receiver too, to a gruesome injury a few weeks ago. Nico Collins is the only guy out there for them right now.
Yeah.
Obviously, they lost Stephon Diggs this year as well.
Yeah.
Maybe depending on Nico Collins, a mix of John Mechie, Dalton Schultz. Maybe they'll sprinkle in some Dameon Pierce back in the fold after he had a pretty big Week 18. To kind of take some carries off of Joe Mixon, but the offense isn't looking the same, and the defense does play well. But I do think the Chargers are very well coached, led by Justin Herbert, who's playing very great football this year. Only 3 turnovers, interception-wise. I don't know how many fumbles he's had, but he had the fewest interceptions in the league. They're running the ball very well. They get J.K. Dobbins right back in time to kind of shore up that backfield. He was able to get some freshen up work. Week 18 looked pretty good. Lad McConkey has been a godsend for them. I know my questions going into the season was how would he perform as a wide receiver 1? He showed up and showed out. He's had a great rookie year. And he'll be facing Derek Stingley across from him, which leads me to the X factor of this game. A guy that me and you have been very down on since the start of his career.
Yeah.
Who had a massive Week 18. I think he went for 160 yards Week 18.
Wow.
Yeah. He'll be the X factor.
Yeah.
Stingley will be covering Lad McConkey.
I don't know if it's
that
the
I can
X
guarantee you.
factor or the determining decision. Like I think the game might be in his hands, and that is the issue. That is in his hands.
They need him.
Yeah, like
They need him this game.
You can't need a guy like that. Like
I want to say that, but they drafted him to be that guy. I mean, I love Josh Palmer, but he's not gonna be.
No.
He'll help move the chains here and there, and Will Dissly's back. He'll help move the chains, but there's gonna be a time where one of these guys are gonna be single covered, and my guess is gonna be Quentin Johnston.
It's not a guess. It's a fact.
And he is an athlete. He's still an athlete. I still believe in the athleticism.
It's there.
He's gonna be going down the field. Herbert has the arm to hit him. He's gonna have to make a play, which is why I like Quentin Johnston anytime touchdown on Saturday, and which is why I like the Chargers to win. I like Quentin Johnston over yards. I think it's gonna be a coming out party for the kid. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a hater. If we feel like doing extra editing for this video, you can show the clip of us cooking Buddy before he got drafted, right?
Gosh.
I know what he is. Well, we knew what he was. We knew what the issues were. A body catcher, not an elite receiving talent necessarily, but an athlete.
Yeah.
And now, which, not to jump too far ahead, but I think V2 of Quentin Johnston is also entering the draft this year out of TCU, but I digress. We will see what if he could step up to that first round moniker that he got, and perform in a playoff game where they'll need him. The Chargers are favored. I'm in full agreement with that, and I'm taking the Chargers to win that game against a Houston offense that is struggling, an LA defense that I feel like could apply pressure to CJ Stroud. I like Khalil Mack over half a sack, if that's on any of your sports books. And I do think they go into Houston, get the win, and move on to the next round.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. You definitely changed my perspective. I was feeling the Texans slightly before you spoke. That's because I'm a hopeful kind of guy. Like I just believe, like I can see absolutely no facts and just like in my heart have that feeling. But you're not wrong. And I think it is going to come down to the defense. And when I look at both defenses, they're both pretty solid. But what stops a good defense is a great O-line. That's what the Chargers have. That's like
Joe Altus gnome is no slouch, brother.
No slouch. So it's like who's going to have more pressure, who's going to have more issues on the offensive side of the ball? Probably the Texans, who are already not playing the best football in a weak division, as you can see from personal experience. So it's like no shade. Definitely a little shade. I take that back. But Like you said, they're just not going to be ready. I just think life is funny because, like, you saw my background. Like, behind me, there's hands and there's mirrors. There's Quentin Johnston. He don't got no hands. He's not looking in the mirror after the game. It's like, what are you going to see in that mirror? You're going to see a guy that stepped up to the plate and did what he was drafted to do? Or are you going to see what everyone thinks of you, what they expect of you, and just drop the game? Because like you said, the game is literally in this guy's hands. We know who's going to have that one-on-one. We know who's going to have those big moments to be that X factor, to make a difference. And it's like, are you going to show up or show out? Or are you going to shut down? So it's like, I'll give him this week. I do think he will this week, but I don't think that's happening.
They tragically need him.
Like 2 weeks in a row. He already had a fire week last week. He has to do it again this week. The odds are getting slimmer, brother, especially going into the playoffs, unless he can have, like, some guys do get hot in prime time. Some guys do just show up when it matters and then disappears when it doesn't. He could be one of those guys.
Semifinals of the college football playoffs.
Yeah, he could have a
who snapped against Michigan.
For all we know. Like, he could be just a guy that shows up in the playoffs and nowhere else. And I hope that's the case. I really somewhere.
His year wasn't that bad this year. I know you didn't get to watch a lot of football, but his year wasn't that bad this year. Yes, he had some tough games in this. He still had some moments.
It's just,
but
he look at the receivers,
he produced a lot better this year.
He was a lot better, but when you look at the draft class and receivers that were picked after, it's still not enough. Like, it's still like, let's get on it. Like, you got some catching up.
You're not wrong.
No. So once again, not his fault. He didn't choose that for himself, but you are responsible for that. So get at it, you know. That's all I say.
Yep.
That's all I gotta say. So Chargers, by the way, got them.
Chargers, you're taking Chargers. Okay, and it's not a coin flip, right? I think it's minus 155 odds for the Chargers.
I think it's just a matter of hope and a proven product. You got a good coach, you got a good team that's playing well, you got a team that's been on a down tear, dealing with injuries, not playing the best in the playoffs. Like, now you turn it on, you could, but I'm not putting money on that. So,
that's what I'm saying. I'm leaning as a man who likes to dabble. I'm leaning with the Chargers side.
Yeah.
Speaking of dabbling, we're getting into the next matchup: Broncos Bills in Buffalo.
Yeah.
MVP candidate Josh Allen going against Rookie of the Year candidate.
Rightfully so.
Bo Nix. A defense that also boasts a potential Defensive Player of the Year candidate in Pat Surtain. Going against a Josh Allen-led offense with a much improved... why is the running back's name escaping me? Dang, I can't believe I blanked on that one.
What, James Cook?
There we go. Yeah, I don't know why James Cook jumped my thoughts, but 15 rushing touchdowns on the year. Huge year for James Cook. A lot of those, I must say, came in games where he had multiple, but I digress. And here's my take on it. I think the Bills could pull this game out. I think the Bills most likely pull this game out.
Dang.
Where I'm putting my flag down is I think it'll be a tough matchup, and it's going to take a lot from Josh Allen, and here's why.
Facts.
When we covered Keon Coleman as a prospect, we made it very clear.
Yeah.
Wide receiver 1 was not going to be his rookie year trajectory. He does not have that skill set. We did believe the Bills could be a nice fit. That's when we thought that Diggs would still be there. But with Josh Allen, a quarterback of Josh Allen's stature, he'd give him the ability to make jump ball plays.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to demand Pat Surtain's all-out coverage. He's not going to have to lock him down necessarily, right? I believe they could even leave Riley Moss on him for all I care. Which leads us to the other side of the field. The Khalil Shakirs of the world, Curtis Samuels, Dalton Kincaids. None of these guys have jumped off the page yet. There's a reason why Josh Allen is an MVP candidate, and it's not because of his supporting cast.
Correct.
Josh Allen has had to be almost solely the offense in addition to James Cook. I think with a defense of this caliber, Nick Bonaiuto should also be kind of the Defensive Player of the Year discussion with multiple pick sixes, crazy amount of sacks. This defense could keep this Bo Nix-led offense in the game. The Bills' defense is a little bit underrated, but I feel like Bo Nix using his legs, Sean Payton calling a very clean game, short reads, getting Cortland Sutton involved at the right times can make this a bit more of a competition than Vegas has it set to be. Broncos are plus 350 odds. I give that a little sprinkle.
That's worth it. That's worth it, man.
The spread, I think, is 9.5. I would even argue that I would, if I was cooking up a parlay, I'd probably put Broncos plus 9.5 for the odds. Maybe bump it up to plus 10.5, just as a sweetener in case they win by a field goal and a touchdown. But I see this game surprising a lot of people. You're gonna have to see Josh Allen really play out of his mind, in my opinion, for the Bills to pull this one out.
Question. I know you forgot this guy, but is Amari Cooper active? Is he playing?
Yes, but they still haven't figured out the chemistry. Both guys haven't really found that chemistry yet, I feel like. Okay. They hit a 30-yard touchdown, I think, 2 weeks ago. But if you look, as somebody who had Amari Cooper in fantasy as well, the targets are few and far between. They've made magic in certain moments, but I don't think they have it all the way figured out yet. I feel like that's a full offseason type of project that they're going to have to figure out if they're able to keep him.
Yeah.
And Amari Cooper v. Pat Surtain, you could give me Pat Surtain. Because I love Khalil Shakir, but a lot of his stuff is underneath. Dalton Kincaid's a tight end. And he hasn't been that electrifying guy that we expected him to be coming out of college. I don't know if the athleticism hasn't really transferred over, but he hasn't jumped off the page like that. If James Cook could have a day, that'll make things a lot lighter. I do like Josh Allen anytime touchdown. I do like Josh Allen over 38.5 rushing yards. I think that's a little bit low. You could even bump Josh Allen up to 50 rushing yards, and I'd take it. And I'm also dabbling a little bit with Bo Nix over 23.5 rushing yards. I feel like he'll use his legs.
Okay.
Because Von Miller does apply some pressure. And it'll be a fun game. But give me Bills to win, Broncos to cover.
I mean, what you said was accurate. I just think, once again, I haven't watched too much football this year. Your boy been locked in. But from what I've seen from afar, I hate to say this, but I think it's Josh Allen's year. He's just, like you said, he's been doing a lot with a lot less. He's had more in the past and hasn't really been at this level that he's at now, to where I think he's figured out how to win football games. Because he's always been able to score and put points on the board. But even if the defense is lacking, he'll still find a way to control the game enough to win. So, it is going to be a hard-fought game. They're going to have to earn it, or he's going to have to earn it. Broncos is a phenomenal defense to, prove yourself. And they could stop him, of course. He's one man. But Josh Allen has looked really good this year. Crazy this year. So, it's
I think only 4 interceptions, way down. 4 or 5 interceptions, way down from, I think it's 5. Way down from his usual,
literally, that was his
10 to 12.
He would be top 3 every year. It's he throws this many picks or this many turnovers. And it's he fixed it now. And it's now what?
But the argument is, has he really fixed it, or has he just not really had many balls to throw to people?
And that's the question.
2 things could be true. He can't really air it out.
Yeah.
Obviously, he has 12 rushing touchdowns this year. So, he has less picks, but I think he also is airing it out a lot less than usual. So,
which is also true. That's the answer we're going to find fairly soon, because now it's the playoffs. Now is the ultimate test. Now we get to see. So,
we do.
I got the Bills, but like you said, I like the Broncos to cover as well. It's a little bit too far-fetched for a team that's been pretty solid all year on both sides of the ball. So, take that as you see it. So,
next matchup is Packers-Eagles. Rematch of the Sao Paulo Week 1 game, I think it was. Eagles at home. Here's my take. They took away the opportunity for Barkley to break the rushing record. They got to show out in this game. They can't go out game 1. The Packers are reeling, in my opinion. Any team that they've played with higher than 10 wins has resulted in an L. Shoot, they just lost to Chicago. I know that game didn't really mean much, but they haven't looked amazing. Jordan Love's looked decent. They haven't figured out a wide receiver 1 out there yet. They have a bunch of wide receiver 2s playing the position. Christian Watson, their game breaker, went down with another non-contact injury. Not to rub it in, but somebody told me that due to science, Christian Watson wouldn't get hurt this year. Guess
it wasn't. Wrong. He tore his ACL. What are you talking about? Right?
I told you the man is made out of paper mache.
He is made out of paper mache. but like the earlier issue was no longer an issue. That's a fact. He hurt something.
They should have worked on the entire leg then, and not just the hamstrings. Yeah. Anyway,
come back later in the year 2027. Let's get it.
Shoot, that adds up. Wide receiver 2's all over the field for the Packers. Tucker Kraft unlocked a little bit. Josh Jacobs, who I'm not usually a fan of, has been playing really well for Green Bay. Yeah. But they got to do this one for Saquon, man. If they didn't give him an opportunity to break the record in Week 18, expect a playoff coming out party for the kid. The first time they played, I think he had 3 touchdowns. I would sprinkle on 2 for the kid. Anytime touchdown for him is minus 180 right now. To me, that's as free as air. I would even take any Saquon Barkley first touchdown if I could interest a couple of the viewers to do that. I'm taking Eagles minus 2.5. I think they're minus 3.5 on the books. Brought it down to 2.5 for my comfort. Friend of mine said you could even take it up to 6.5. I'm gonna take it to 2.5 because I feel like that's free, and I think the Eagles win and move on to the next round. Packers are sent home packing.
So I do have a question.
What do you say?
Is
yes.
Hurts active? I heard he's like concussion protocol still. I don't know.
That is the big red flag, man. Currently, there's not been. I haven't gotten an update today, so I don't know. If he isn't, things shift dramatically.
Correct. To be honest,
I ain't gonna lie.
The Eagles, even if he's not playing.
That Tanner McKee kid was balling.
Yeah, like I'm not.
I ain't gonna lie. He's like 6'5", 6'6". He was throwing that dang ball, man. And if he could turn around and hand the ball off,
so that's what you gotta do. Give it to Barkley. They got good defense. Defense only showing up, showing out. My only knock on
you got AJ Brown and Devontae Smith. Wait, I don't know if Devontae Smith got hurt. I know he got hurt recently.
Yeah, he got.
But you got. You got AJ Brown out there. If you could throw the ball, if you could throw a football, he could go up and get it. I still like the Eagles, even if Hurts doesn't play, which sounds crazy. But yeah, give me Eagles minus 2.5, as I said. Alt spread.
Yeah.
Oh, and that defense has been playing amazingly lately too. Let's not sleep on that. The Eagles have not played good defense in like 2 years. The mix of Cooper DeJean, Quinion Mitchell. There's been a little bit of renaissance of defense on that team. Jalen Carter showing up here and there. Jordan Davis run stop, and it's been good for them this year. So yeah, they if they're playing that well on both sides of the ball, they can make a little run out there. So, but yeah.
Yeah, I like the matchup. I like the pick. I like the Eagles. Either way, hurts no hurts. Packers go packing, like you said. It is what it is.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And then one of the more intriguing matchups to close out Sunday night: Commanders Buccaneers in Tampa.
Oof.
Yeah, brother.
Oof.
That's a great game. A coin flip game if I ever seen it. I mean, they played this year and the Bucks won. But obviously both teams are a lot different now. No Chris Godwin in this one for the Bucks, but Jalen McMillan has been stepping up crazy the last few weeks. Actually had a big game against these same Commanders earlier in the year. They got Mike Evans' 1K for the year, so the team is buzzing. Bucky Irving playing well for him. Pretty much leaving Rachaad White to be a RB2/RB3 almost. Baker playing out of his mind, and he's playing against who I think will actually win Rookie of the Year, Jaden Daniels. And a Washington team that, in my opinion, has not looked the best on offense lately, but still has all the pieces to do so. Zach Ertz having a little bit of a renaissance. He's been playing well the last few weeks. Brian Robinson, I think, still needs to come back to his early year form. And Terry McLaurin has fell off the face of the planet for like the last 3 weeks. So if they could unlock him a little bit against this Tampa secondary, this could really be a game. The things I love: Jaden Daniels over 47.5 rushing. If that line goes up to 54.5, give me Jaden Daniels to go over that rushing line. They have Baker at 17.5 rushing. He's been toting the rock a little bit these last few weeks as well. I like the over. I am also a big fan of Zach Ertz anytime touchdown, which sounds crazy. But back-to-back weeks, or actually I think 3 weeks in a row, counting a 2-touchdown week as well. So I think if the offense is going in to get in the red zone, they will look his way. I'm leaning with the Commanders to win the game, but again, this is legitimately a coin flip. It is in Tampa. I do like the over 50. Give me over 50 points. I think it'll be high flying. I think it'll be high scoring. And I'm going to take Jaden Daniels to pull this one out
Wow.
in Tampa. What says you?
I was feeling Jaden Daniels at first. Like you said, it just seems like a one-man mission against a team that's like been pretty good lately. Like Baker's also been like on some stuff lately. Like he's been playing out of his mind with like a little bit less than usual. So I gotta go with the home. Like I gotta go with Tampa. It's not the sexiest pick, but I think it's the right pick. Only because they have the experience, they have the team, they have the coaches. On the other side, they have home field advantage, and it's like
They do
you
have home
have
field
a
advantage.
rookie, but like you said, where's Terry been at? Where Brian been at? Where all these guys been at? Where it's like it's just a lot to ask for from a guy who's like lit the league on fire, but now it's payoff ball. Now they have film on you for a whole year. Now you're playing against all the veterans that have been there before, and this is your first time, so it's like every other player's first time. You know, you got to be humble. This is your welcome to the league, apparently, which is great to happen in the playoffs, but like that has to happen eventually. Unless you do have this magical run, it has to end somewhere. I think it's this weekend. So I
think he toasts that rock, and another underlying storyline. It's Lattimore v. Evans again. So very excited about that as well. That should be fun to watch. Those boys love to get after it.
Yeah, we'll see. But no, I got to go with the Tampa Bay boys for this one, which I don't really go with Tampa Bay a lot, to be honest. When I look at it, it's like, why? Like you said, they have everything. They have the running back committee. They have the receivers that are stepping up. They got the quarterback that's playing. So it's like, why would I go against that?
They've also unlocked like 3 different tight ends. Kate Otton's back. He's there with Payne. I think his name is Duran Payne or Payne Duran, one of the two. And then unlocked some kid named Delp. Like they got a committee of tight ends, and then 2 wide receivers playing very well. You know, there's a lot going well for them. I even saw Sterling Shepard out there making plays.
All right,
right. So
you stop right here. Yep.
I mean, for real. So you know, if we get Sterling Shepard out there making plays, anything's possible for the Bucks. But I'm still going to ride with the rookie with the legs. So
okay, fair.
And final matchup of Wildcard Weekend. This one is also going to be kind of fire. Can't lie. Okay, that's not the right term to use since the LA Rams are involved. This game might end up having to be played in Arizona.
Crazy, you said that. I forgot about that.
I didn't even realize. Like I said it to be like, oh, this game's going to be good, but there is legitimate. Again, was not meant in that way. This game might be taking place in Arizona as a replacement since of all the things that are happening in LA right now. But the Rams are playing the Vikings. And I got the Rams, baby. Because look.
I got them too, man. Just put that out there. I got them. You ain't convinced me for that.
Yeah.
Boys, come on, huh?
Here's where I go. Right? Last year we made a very similar video. We talked about how the Vikings were fraudulent, how the Giants would beat them. It happened. And this team has replaced Kirk with... Actually, it wasn't last year. It was the year before, right? Am I tripping? No, it was last year.
It was last year.
Which year?
Yeah, they got mollywopped
like the Giants
first week.
where the Giants beat them in the first in the wild card round.
Man,
Yeah. So, Sam Darnold has been playing out of his mind this year.
Oh, for sure.
Out of his mind. One of the most regrettable fantasy trades I've made all year. And I believe that if this game is won by the Vikings, it's going to be won on the back of the defense. Because I think Darnold will be susceptible to make some mistakes.
Yeah.
I think the last few weeks have not been the prettiest.
Yeah.
Especially the final week against the Lions, he looked a little bit rough. Against the Lions defense that has given up points to many a team. He needs to get on the same page with Justin Jefferson a little bit more. TJ Hawkinson will be involved. Jordan Addison will be involved. But when I go down the list, I look at 2 very elite wide receiver prospects out there in for the Rams. I say prospects. One's a vet. One's in year 2. And I look at a veteran at Matt Stafford when it comes to playoff ball and having the weapons at his disposal that he has could take advantage of that defense. Now, Brian Flores has that defense playing very well. Again, I feel like that will be the deciding factor. But give me Stafford to ball out. I think I took him to go over 2.5 passing touchdowns at plus 300. I like that a lot. Cooper Kupp has kind of faded the last 3 weeks. I think we'll get a very retro version of Cooper Kupp in the playoffs. High volume in terms of targets, maybe even get in the end zone a little bit.
Yeah.
I do believe in the Rams at plus 100, and I think the Vikings won't be left reeling. It's going to be disappointing, winning 14 games and going out first round of the playoffs, but they got a lot to kind of be excited about, but they have some decisions to make in the offseason if Darnold goes out there and kind of, stinks it up. But we'll revisit that once it happens in terms of, predictions. Give me the Rams to win plus 100. Give me Stafford to have a big game plus 300, 2.5 passing touchdowns. And that is my take. What do you think?
You got it on the money. This game will be fire, not because of what's happening in reality. But I do think it will be the game of the weekend. Like, it's just prime.
Yeah.
2 elite offenses, weapons galore, points everywhere. And I'm gonna call it. I feel like it's gonna be like an overtime, like thriller where that comes in and just shows Darnold how it's done. Like, just letting him know that he's not there yet, that he's getting to that point. I think Darnold has a great game. I just think he gets outplayed right now. Stafford. I don't think he folds. He's been playing.
I will say the Rams defense is full of rookies, so if anybody's going to take advantage, I think Justin Jefferson can take advantage of that rookie secondary. There's a Miami DB out there, Cam Kitchens. He's been playing well. The defensive line, Jared Verse and Brandon Fisk, I think his name is. It's a bunch of young blood on that defense. And give me Jetta's. Now that I'm thinking about it, give me Jetta's over. I think it's at 95-yard receiving. He might go for 150 because he's going to be able to take advantage of those rookies a little bit.
Like, the Vikings are going to have to blow out the Rams to win because Sean McVay just has a knack for winning close games. Like, he just has an innate skill just to do a little bit more, I feel like. Mm-hmm. Like, even when they had, like, Baker at quarterback, just found a way just to win slightly, just to get to the next week. So it's like, and if it's close, I got the Rams. If it's going to be a blowout, it's going to be the Vikings. So I'm going to ride with you.
Okay, that's interesting.
I got the Rams, but I think I'm taking
the Rams.
Game of the week.
1,000% in my opinion, game of the week potential. I think the final 2 games have the best potential for fireworks. But yeah, I think it'll be a great weekend of wildcard football. Tons of potential out there for you people who like to snag little bets in there. It is the playoffs. Guys will be playing at full speed, fully committed. Game plans will be around the stars. Because if you go home, you don't want it to be because you're targeting guys like, I don't know, Quez Watkins or something. Even though we found ourselves in those situations before. Bet on the guys who, get paid to do the job. If I'm saying anything, I love you know what? To close out, here's my anytime touchdown parlay. I know you guys miss me giving you guys play.
Go ahead.
We're going Mark Andrews game 1.
Yeah.
We're going Quentin Johnson game 2.
Oh, Lord.
Why are you saying, oh, Lord, brother? I need your support in this.
Yeah.
Okay. We're going Josh Allen game 3.
Yep.
We're going Saquon Barkley game 4.
First time touchdown or any time for Barkley? You said first
anytime.
time.
We're doing anytime. We're doing anytime for all of these.
Okay.
For the Commanders game,
Hurts.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna stick to it. I'm gonna stick to it. I'm gonna go Ertz.
It's crazy.
I'm gonna go Ertz. I'm gonna stick to it. We're gonna stick to it. I thought it was a little bit crazy, but we're gonna stick to it. Okay. And then final game, we're gonna go ahead and go. Cooper Kupp gets in the end zone.
Man, Cooper Kupp lost me a fantasy championship. Go Puka Nacua. Have a good night. Don't stretch.
I mean, Terry McLaurin lost me one, and Jay Marino.
I lost by 1.5 points. Cooper Kupp had 0. I'm done with him.
Oh yeah,
I'm
that's
done with
difficult. That is a tough way to go out, brother.
I'm done. That don't make no sense.
That is a tough way to go out. That is such a tough way to go out. But you got to believe in the kid still.
No.
You got to believe in the kid still. You got to believe. I mean, I also had him in a very important matchup, and he cost me. But you got to believe in him still.
No, that's my fault for sure.
You got to.
It's my fault. But I'm gonna do you one better. I got the lotto pick. This is from you. You said this subconsciously. We're gonna write it with a couple of
Let me hear it.
Saquon Barkley, first touchdown. Zach Ertz, 2 touchdowns. That's it.
Oh, God. You're
That's
getting
it.
Zach Ertz
That's
2
it.
touchdowns again?
Let's get paid. Let's get paid.
We're getting Zach Ertz 2 touchdowns again?
That's it. That's it.
Do you know what the odds of that are? Because I'm about to give you the odds of my touchdown parlay.
No, that's all I know is I'm putting this.
Okay, I'll tell you. I'll tell you what the odds of yours is right after mine. Okay, so if you take my anytime touchdown parlay for the wild card weekend, put $10 on it. That's $1,740. Okay.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Okay.
We will be placing that one. All right, and then you said Zach Ertz 2 touchdowns and
Yes, sir.
Saquon first touchdown.
Yes, sir.
I mean, I'm gonna place it. I'm a believer.
You said it.
Why don't we go multi touchdown for Saquon too, or do you just want to go first?
I'll just keep it short and simple. I mean, he's probably more likely to get multiple touchdowns. You can do him 1 touchdown. I mean, Josh Jacobs 2, Zach Ertz 2. Let's ride.
Oh wait, you're doing Jacobs too? That's a lot of touchdowns in that game if we think that they're gonna get blown out.
I didn't say they're gonna get blown out. I just said they're gonna lose. You think they're gonna get blown out?
Oh, first touchdown is better odds for Saquon, so we'll go first touchdown for Saquon.
Okay.
Let's keep it simple. Saquon first, Ertz 2, right?
Yeah.
$5 wins you $380.
So you put 1,000 on that, and
Okay, you were tripping.
oh my.
I put 5 on it. I'll send you the slip so you can put them in the video.
All right.
But yes, those are little gifts to you. You know, the last time I made you guys a prediction video, you know, I'm never going to let this one live down. I might have to send you the clip again. Some of us told y'all to bet Mecole Hardman anytime touchdown in the Super Bowl. Some of us called other people crazy. Just going to say that. Just going to leave that one there.
I don't know if you
Any
said
closing
that.
thoughts, Chris?
My closing thoughts is actually thoughts and prayers for those in Los Angeles. Like, all jokes aside,
100%. It looks
all jokes
crazy over
aside,
there.
it's crazy. I hope you guys are safe. I hope we let go of the material things and just be grateful for being alive and being here. And it will get better eventually. It always gets
No,
better.
for sure.
But for real though, like, prayers up to y'all. So
1,000%. I hope coming around by Monday, if things aren't looking better, you know, at least people are getting the help they need. But I'd love for things to be in a better position and for you guys to be able to, you know, when things go wrong sometimes, just kind of separate and enjoy some of the things we do have, which some nice playoff football would be good, you know? So prayers out there to them.
So,
All right.
other than that,
Thank y'all for tuning into Kick and Post. Thank y'all for staying with us through our ups and our downs, and we'll see y'all on the next one, which won't be too far from now. Peace.